Have you ever encountered a country where metro stations gleam with the brilliance of crystal chandeliers, resembling luxurious halls rather than typical underground transit points? Or where ancient cities have endured for millennia, standing proudly as witnesses to history, much like Athens? And what about a gold mine so enormous that its shimmering riches can be seen from space, shining like a beacon in the night sky? If these images seem extraordinary or even unbelievable, then most likely Uzbekistan has simply slipped past your awareness, yet it is a nation deserving of recognition, and not in vain. Despite its remarkable history and astonishing natural and cultural wonders, Uzbekistan remains largely unfamiliar to many. Why is it that a country so rich in history and filled with awe-inspiring sights remains almost a hidden gem on the world map? Prepare yourself, because the following 15 facts will peel back the curtain, revealing a country you may have known little about, but which will surely captivate your imagination and challenge your perceptions. Starting with number 15, Uzbekistan is a doubly landlocked country. Picture yourself traveling across its vast terrain, and no matter where you go, you find yourself surrounded solely by land, no ocean, no sea, no coastline in sight. You cross one border, only to find that the next country you encounter also has no access to the sea. This rare geographical phenomenon exists in only 2 places on Earth, and Uzbekistan is one of them. It is encircled by 5 neighboring nations: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Turkmenistan, each of which is itself landlocked. But Uzbekistan's uniqueness lies in its doubly landlocked status, meaning that for any goods to reach or leave the country by sea, they must pass through at least 2 other nations. Imagine being inside a house that is locked inside another house, with every door sealed tight, total isolation within a maze of walls. This geographic predicament compels Uzbekistan to depend entirely on overland routes for trade and commerce, especially with neighboring giants like China and Russia. To facilitate this, the country has invested heavily in building an extensive railway network, ensuring it can compete on equal footing in regional trade. Only the tiny European Principality of Liechtenstein shares a similar situation, being landlocked and highly dependent on neighboring countries for access. Yet, the scale of Uzbekistan's challenge surpasses that of Liechtenstein. This nation spans an area comparable to that of Sweden, covering over 200,000 square miles. When considering its population, more than 36 million people, the question arises: how does a nation with such geographical constraints and a large population manage to survive and thrive? But the surprises don't end there. Moving on to fact number 14. Uzbekistan is home to some of the world's oldest cities, cities that predate many of the history books we rely on. Many assume that the cradle of civilization was Europe, but that isn't entirely true. In fact, some of the most ancient urban centers are found right in the sands of Central Asia, within Uzbekistan. Cities like Samarkand and Bukhara have existed for over 2,500 years, making them older than London, older than Paris, and nearly as ancient as Babylon. These cities are living testaments to human ingenuity and resilience, having witnessed the rise and fall of empires over the centuries. Samarkand, once a vital hub along the legendary Silk Road, saw the passage of countless caravans, the clash of civilizations, and the footprints of legendary figures such as Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, and Tamerlane. Yet what is truly astonishing is that these cities are not merely ruins frozen in time. Today, people still live, work, trade, pray, and stroll along narrow streets lined with centuries-old mosques and markets. Visitors can walk past mosques dating from the 15th century, explore bazaars that have been bustling since the Persian Empire, and admire mid-rise buildings that once served as centers of learning long before European universities even existed. Recognized by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites, these cities are regarded as authentic crossroads of cultures, where history is alive and palpable. When you stand in Registan Square, with its shimmering mosaics reflecting the sunlight, it's as if you've stepped into a living museum, one that breathes, moves, and continues to thrive. Here, commerce, prayer, and daily life intertwine seamlessly with centuries of history. If this is the first time you're learning about these incredible places, you are certainly not alone in your unfamiliarity. These treasures are hidden from the majority, waiting to be discovered and appreciated by the world. Uzbekistan remains deceptively concealed in plain sight, its secrets hidden beneath a veneer of ordinary life, and this discovery marks only the beginning of what there is to uncover. If you find yourself captivated by this exploration, remember to subscribe. Your support enables us to continue revealing such lost wonders from the depths of history and nature. Now, prepare yourself for a story that will resonate deeply, a tale of catastrophe so devastating that it conjures images of vast stretches of cracked, desolate earth and rusty ships abandoned in the arid sands, remnants of a time when waves once danced and splashed along the shores. This is not just any story. It is one of the most catastrophic environmental disasters recorded in recent history, a tragedy etched into the landscape and memory of the region. We are talking about the Aral Sea disaster, a catastrophe that has left an indelible mark on history. Most people are familiar with stories of lakes drying up, but imagine witnessing an entire sea vanish before your very eyes, an entire body of water shrinking and evaporating at an alarming rate. Such was the terrifying reality of what happened to the Aral Sea. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union embarked on an ambitious project, diverting the rivers that fed this once vast inland sea to supply water to the desert regions, primarily to support cotton cultivation. The plan appeared straightforward: redirect the water to foster agricultural growth, but the consequences were catastrophic beyond what anyone could have anticipated. Over the ensuing decades, the consequences unfolded with tragic clarity. By the year 2007, the Aral Sea had diminished by an astonishing 90%, leaving behind a landscape scarred by environmental neglect and human ambition. The once thriving fishing villages along its shores had become ghost towns, their populations displaced, their livelihoods lost. Rusting ships, once busy with commerce and life, now lay abandoned, stranded tens of kilometers from the remaining water, their hulls corroded by time and neglect. The exposed seabed, now barren and cracked, releases dust laden with toxic substances, chemicals and pollutants that pose a grave health threat to anyone living nearby. This is more than an environmental issue. It is a man-made tragedy, a stark reminder of how human decisions can devastate ecosystems that sustain millions. Today, the Aral Sea has nearly vanished, its waters reduced to a toxic, shrinking remnant of what once was a vital inland body of water. Though largely forgotten by the world, its scars remain etched into the land and the memory of those who once depended on it. This chapter of history is unforgettable, a warning etched into the earth and the collective consciousness. It serves as a stark reminder of what can happen when environmental stewardship is neglected, and it raises a pressing question: what future disasters await us if we do not heed these lessons? Without careful reflection and action, could more seas and lakes disappear, lost forever to the relentless greed and short-sightedness of mankind? Do not turn away. This is a story that demands our attention. Moving on to a different but equally fascinating topic, let us consider number 12. In Uzbekistan, the linguistic landscape is quite distinct from what many might assume about the former Soviet republics. Many believe that all these countries primarily speak Russian, but that is far from the truth. In Uzbekistan, the official language is not Russian, nor is it a Slavic language, but rather a Turkic language known as Uzbek. This language is completely different from Russian, reflecting the country's rich cultural and historical roots. Interestingly, Uzbekistan has transitioned from using the Cyrillic alphabet to adopting the Latin alphabet, giving its language a fresh, modern sound that resonates with contemporary identity. While travelers to Tashkent might expect to see signs predominantly in Russian, since it remains prevalent on the streets, the majority of the population speaks Uzbek as their mother tongue, accounting for roughly 85% of the people. This linguistic shift is more than just a matter of signs and letters. It is a cultural bridge connecting Uzbekistan with the broader Turkic world, which spans from Central Asia through parts of Eastern Europe and even touches regions within China. The Uzbek language has absorbed influences from Persian, Arabic, and Turkic sources, creating a rich, intertwined cultural tapestry that echoes the historic Silk Road era, an ancient network of trade routes that once linked East and West. From a grammatical standpoint, Uzbek is an agglutinative language, meaning that words are built up by stacking affixes onto root words, much like assembling building blocks with Lego. This characteristic makes the language both complex and fascinating to learn, requiring a thoughtful approach and patience. If you're planning a trip to Uzbekistan, it would be wise to learn not only some Russian but, most importantly, some Uzbek phrases, because that is what you will hear everywhere, in markets, conversations, and daily life. And if this hidden story has struck a chord with you, consider clicking subscribe. Your support helps us continue to shed light on these forgotten corners of the world, revealing stories and histories that deserve to be remembered and shared. Do not turn away just yet, for there are still countless marvels awaiting discovery. At number 11, we find ourselves immersed in the extraordinary beauty of the Tashkent metro stations. These underground transit hubs are far more than mere stations. They are genuine masterpieces of art and craftsmanship. When most people think of a metro system, their minds tend to conjure images of dull, gray platforms lined with monotonous tiles, offering little in the way of aesthetic appeal. But what if I told you that the Tashkent metro defies this common expectation? Imagine, instead, an underground realm that resembles the sleeping beauty of fairy tales, a world transformed into a regal kingdom of splendor. Picture gleaming golden chandeliers casting a warm, inviting glow over marble columns that stand as silent witnesses to history, while vibrant mosaics narrate stories rich with cultural significance. Uzbekistan has crafted not just a practical transportation network but a breathtaking artistic environment. The metro was originally constructed in the 1970s, a symbol of the Soviet Union's grandeur and technological achievement. Yet, the Tashkent metro has transcended its initial purpose, evolving into an extraordinary showcase of national pride and artistic expression. Each station is a unique work of art, meticulously designed to reflect the deep-rooted culture and storied history of Uzbekistan. What makes this even more remarkable is that no two stations are alike. Each one boasts its own distinctive theme and architectural style. Stepping into one of these stations, you might feel as if you are entering a royal palace rather than a typical public transportation hub. Elaborate ceiling designs, sparkling crystal chandeliers, exquisite tiles, and frescoes depicting pivotal moments in history all combine to create an atmosphere of awe and admiration. These stations are not merely functional spaces, they are designed to inspire wonder and reverence. And here's the truly astonishing part. There is no place in the world quite like the Tashkent metro. These underground palaces stand proudly as symbols of national identity, celebrating art and culture even in the most unexpected of places. They serve as a testament to Uzbekistan's devotion to beauty and heritage, making them a source of immense pride for the nation. Moving on to number 10, we delve into the Earth's hidden treasures beneath Uzbek soil. Here, one of the largest gold mines in the entire world is nestled within the vast expanses of Uzbekistan. Have you ever pondered just how much gold could be contained within a single country? Visualize a subterranean treasure trove, billions of dollars worth of gleaming gold, waiting to be uncovered. Now, picture a place where this wealth is so abundant and accessible that even a frantic gold rush would seem like a mere child's game. Welcome to Uzbekistan, home to the colossal Marantau gold mine, a true marvel of modern mining. Situated in the remote Kozilkum Desert, this enormous operation produces over 2 million ounces of gold every year. Surprisingly, Uzbekistan ranks consistently among the world's top gold-producing nations, sometimes even surpassing the more renowned mining giants. The Marantau mine stretches over 3.5 miles in length and about 2.5 miles in width, creating an intricate labyrinth of tunnels beneath the desert sands. It is akin to an underground treasure chest, continuously supplying gold to markets around the globe. Despite its massive scale and the wealth it generates, few outside the industry have heard of this extraordinary site. The deposits are so vast that they are considered virtually inexhaustible, an eternal source of prosperity for Uzbekistan. The government actively harnesses these riches to bolster the national economy, invest in infrastructure, and elevate the standard of living for its citizens. In essence, this gold mine is more than just a source of wealth. It is a vital pillar supporting the country's economic stability and growth, reinforcing Uzbekistan's position on the world stage as a significant player in the global mineral markets. And finally, at number 9, we uncover a treasure of a different kind, one of the world's most ancient Qurans, preserved with reverence and awe. How old do you suppose the oldest Quran might be? 100 years? 200? Yet, here in Uzbekistan lies an extraordinary relic that surpasses these estimates by a wide margin. It is the Quran of Uthman, an ancient manuscript that has been safeguarded in Tashkent for over 13 centuries. This sacred text, dating back to the early centuries of Islam, holds immense historical and spiritual significance. It is a priceless artifact, not only because of its age but also because of its profound connection to the early history of the Islamic faith. Preserved through centuries of upheaval, war, and change, this Quran stands as a living testament to the enduring legacy of faith, culture, and history that has shaped Uzbekistan into the nation it is today. This manuscript is believed by scholars to be among the earliest surviving copies of the Quran, a relic that has withstood the ravages of time, war, and upheaval for centuries. It dates back to the era of Caliph Uthman ibn Affan, one of the most revered companions of the Prophet Muhammad. What makes this artifact even more extraordinary is its remarkable journey across generations. It has been carefully handed down through countless families, enduring invasions, destructive conflicts, and natural calamities that threatened its very existence. In the year 1924, this precious Quran was rediscovered after nearly vanishing into obscurity, almost lost forever. Crafted on high-quality parchment, the manuscript's calligraphy is so refined and precise that reproducing it today seems nearly impossible. The intricacy of the handwriting reflects a level of artistry and devotion that is truly awe-inspiring. Today, this invaluable piece of history is preserved in the renowned Tashkent Museum of the Quran, a place where scholars, historians, and pilgrims from around the world gather to marvel at its beauty. It stands as a living link to antiquity, a powerful reminder that knowledge and faith can endure even under the harshest conditions and through the most tumultuous times. Number 8. More than 90% of the population in Uzbekistan identify as Muslims, yet the country operates as a secular state. This combination of a Muslim majority population with a secular government is quite rare and may seem, at first glance, to be a contradiction. However, this is precisely the unique reality in Uzbekistan. While the vast majority of its citizens follow Islam, the nation's political framework is founded on secular principles. Religion plays a significant role in the personal lives of many Uzbeks, shaping their traditions and daily routines. Nevertheless, the government enforces a separation between religious practices and state functions, ensuring that no religious laws are imposed on the entire population. The Constitution of Uzbekistan explicitly guarantees freedom of religion for all its citizens, affirming that the state remains neutral in religious matters. This delicate balancing act creates a fascinating dynamic. Despite their deep-rooted Islamic heritage, many residents lead lives that are notably secular, emphasizing education, modernity, and individual freedoms. The harmony between respecting Islamic traditions and maintaining secular governance contributes to Uzbekistan's distinctive character within the region. How does this influence everyday life? It's truly remarkable how seamlessly religion and secularism coexist, forming a society where tradition and modern values intertwine. Stay tuned, as we will explore further in the next segment how this unique blend of politics and culture shapes the Uzbek way of life. Number 7. Uzbekistan proudly holds the distinction of being the first country in Central Asia to introduce a high-speed train service. Imagine zipping through the vast, arid desert at speeds exceeding 240 kilometers per hour, an idea that once belonged to the realm of science fiction. Yet, this is no longer a distant dream. In 2011, Uzbekistan made history by launching the Afrosiyab high-speed train, revolutionizing transportation within the country. This modern marvel connects two of Uzbekistan's most iconic cities, Tashkent and Samarkand, in a matter of minutes, drastically reducing the journey time from 4 hours to just 2. But this achievement is about more than mere speed. It symbolizes a bridge between the nation's rich historical past and its ambitious aspirations for the future. Samarkand, once a vital hub of the legendary Silk Road, was a melting pot of cultures, empires, and ideas. Now, thanks to this express train, travelers can effortlessly transition from exploring ancient monuments to experiencing contemporary progress. The high-speed rail line is not just a technological triumph but also a symbol of Uzbekistan's desire to modernize while honoring its historical roots. And this is only the beginning. Plans are already in motion to expand the high-speed rail network across more parts of Central Asia, promising a future where rapid, efficient travel becomes a standard feature of the region's development. In a region where the development of infrastructure has historically lagged behind, often progressing at a sluggish pace, this new development marks a truly groundbreaking and transformative milestone. It signifies a shift that could potentially catalyze further progress and change the face of the area. Moving on to the sixth point, Uzbekistan stands out as one of the world's most prominent producers of melons. These fruits are celebrated for their juiciness, sweetness, and refreshing qualities, making them an irresistible treat during the hot summer months. Who among us can resist slicing into a ripe melon on a sweltering day, feeling the cool, sweet juice burst forth with every bite? But have you ever paused to wonder where the very best melons on earth originate? The answer, surprisingly enough, lies in Uzbekistan, which has earned a well-deserved reputation as a global leader in melon cultivation. The country's melons are often regarded as some of the sweetest and most flavorful varieties available anywhere in the world. Each year, Uzbekistan produces more than 2 million tons of these delicious fruits, including the renowned Cholgaj variety, which is celebrated for its exquisite taste and delicate, melt-in-the-mouth texture. This bounty of melons is not just a matter of quantity but also of diversity. The fields dedicated to melon cultivation span an impressive area of about 1,000 hectares, and among these are many local varieties that cannot be found anywhere outside the borders of Uzbekistan. The country's climate, characterized by its arid, desert-like conditions, provides an ideal environment for growing all kinds of melons, from cantaloupes to watermelons. This natural setting creates what one might call a paradise for melon growers, where the combination of climate and tradition produces fruits that are uniquely flavorful. What, then, is the secret behind the extraordinary taste of Uzbek melons? The answer lies in a combination of factors: the distinctive climate of the Fergana Valley, which offers the perfect balance of heat and dryness, and the centuries-old tradition of meticulous, painstaking cultivation passed down through generations. These elements work together to produce melons that are not only delicious but also imbued with a sense of cultural heritage. An interesting aspect of this cultivation is the vibrant local culture that surrounds melons. During the harvest season, the streets fill with the sweet aroma of ripe citrus fruits and melons, creating a festive atmosphere that captivates both locals and visitors. In fact, the country even hosts festivals dedicated to celebrating this beloved fruit, where people gather to enjoy the bounty of the land and honor their agricultural traditions. So, the next time you indulge in a juicy melon, consider that you might be tasting a piece of Uzbekistan's hidden treasure, an exquisite fruit born from a remarkable combination of climate, tradition, and passionate cultivation. If you find this kind of cultural and culinary story intriguing, it only takes a moment to subscribe and discover more. Such stories grow even richer and more fascinating as they unfold, revealing the diverse and vibrant tapestry of this region. Moving to the fifth point, in the heart of Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan, there stands a monument dedicated to cosmonauts, a striking reminder of the space race era. When you hear the words, space race, images of NASA, satellite launches, and pioneering astronauts like Yuri Gagarin might immediately come to mind. But would you ever expect to see a monument to space exploration right in the center of Central Asia? Indeed, in Tashkent, a grand monument to cosmonauts rises prominently, capturing the imagination of all who pass by. This monument is far from merely a decorative structure. It is a powerful symbol of Uzbekistan's historical connection to the space age. It honors the Soviet Union's legacy in space exploration and underscores the country's significant, though often overlooked, role in that chapter of history. During the Soviet era, Uzbekistan was actively involved in the space program, with Tashkent emerging as one of the key scientific hubs dedicated to aerospace research during the 60s and 70s. Yet, this monument is more than a mere tribute to scientific achievement. Its soaring spire, crowned with a star at its peak, was designed to symbolize strength, progress, and international prestige. Its shape resembles the fiery trail left by a rocket streaking across the sky, capturing the spirit of exploration and discovery. Today, it stands as one of the most recognizable symbols of the Soviet era within Central Asia, a testament to the country's historical contributions to space science. Remarkably, this monument survived the devastating earthquake of 1966, which destroyed much of Tashkent and decimated large parts of the city. Its resilience is a powerful symbol of endurance, standing firm as a reminder of the past and as a beacon of hope for future generations. Turning to the fourth point, imagine a time when a nation's currency experiences hyperinflation, a scenario where prices spiral out of control and money rapidly loses its value. Picture walking into a store with pockets full of cash, only to realize that the money in your hands is worth less than the paper it was printed in the turbulent decade of the 1990s. Uzbekistan faced an economic crisis of unprecedented severity, driven by hyperinflation that rendered the national currency, the so'um, virtually worthless. Prices for everyday goods skyrocketed almost overnight, leaving the value of money in a state of near-total collapse. As the crisis deepened, the government responded by increasing the volume of money printed in an attempt to stabilize the economy, but this only exacerbated the problem. By the middle of the decade, inflation had soared to an astonishing 1,500%, turning the economic landscape into chaos. Ordinary citizens, many of whom had accumulated savings over years, suddenly saw their wealth evaporate within moments, plunging countless families into despair. Yet, amidst this turmoil, a turning point was on the horizon. In the year 2000, Uzbekistan took bold and deliberate steps to reverse the tide. The government undertook a currency denomination, introducing a new, more stable monetary system, and implemented comprehensive reforms in financial policy. These decisive actions gradually tamed the rampant inflation and laid the groundwork for a more stable and predictable economy. Over time, the financial situation started to improve, and despite the scars left by the previous chaos, the country managed to recover. Today, Uzbekistan is emerging as a rapidly expanding market, marked by increasing stability and attracting international investors eager to participate in its growth story. How exactly did this country, once crippled by hyperinflation, manage to transform itself within a relatively short span of years into a nation with robust economic prospects? The answer lies in strategic reforms and resilient national effort, and more fascinating details await as we explore further. Now, shifting focus to a different kind of history, let us delve into a chilling chapter from Bukhara's past. Have you ever pondered what the concept of death entailed in ancient times? How different societies developed their methods of execution and how the character of a city might influence these grim practices? Welcome to Bukhara, a city renowned for its stunning mosques, intricate architecture, and rich cultural heritage, but also a city with a dark and haunting history. Standing prominently in the narrative of its past is the so-called Tower of Death, or Zindan, which once served as a grim execution site and a symbol of justice's harshness. This ancient structure, preserved through centuries, was the final destination for many prisoners condemned to death. Situated outside the city's bustling center, the tower cast a long shadow over Bukhara's history, standing as a stark reminder of the power wielded by rulers and authorities to enforce their laws through brutal means. But what many do not realize is that the tower's purpose extended beyond executions alone. It also functioned as a prison, where detainees were held under deplorable conditions, often deprived of basic rights and subjected to cruel treatment. The most appalling aspect of its history is the fate of those who met their end there. After execution, their bodies were discarded into a pit at the base of the tower, left as a grim testament to the city's past. Over the centuries, countless lives were claimed within its walls, and the dark legend of the Zindan continues to cast a shadow over Bukhara's historical consciousness. Today, the Tower of Death has been transformed into a tourist attraction, serving as a stark reminder of the brutal justice practices of the past and the city's complex history. Were you expecting a city celebrated for its magnificent mosques and vibrant markets to conceal such a grim secret? If this glimpse into Bukhara's darker history has intrigued you, stay tuned for more revelations. As you explore stories of the past, you'll find that the history of this city is even more compelling and layered than its beautiful facades suggest. And finally, let us turn to a demographic fact that might surprise many. Uzbekistan boasts one of the fastest growing populations in all of Central Asia. Imagine a nation where the number of inhabitants is increasing at a remarkable pace. What implications could this have for the future of the entire region? Over recent decades, the population of Uzbekistan has been expanding rapidly, driven by high birth rates and improving health conditions. Currently, more than 34 million people call Uzbekistan home, and the annual growth rate exceeds 1.5%. This demographic trend is not just a statistic. It signifies a dynamic shift in the country's social fabric. Nearly half of the population is under the age of 30, creating a vibrant, youthful demographic that promises a significant workforce and a potential catalyst for economic and social transformation. This burgeoning young population could dramatically influence Uzbekistan's development trajectory, impacting everything from education and employment to cultural trends and regional influence. Such rapid growth presents both opportunities and challenges. How the nation manages this demographic wave could determine its position within Central Asia and beyond. As this young, energetic generation comes of age, the future of Uzbekistan holds immense promise, an exciting prospect that will shape the region's landscape for decades to come. However, alongside these remarkable achievements, there are also formidable challenges that the nation faces. The rapid growth of the population presents a complex array of issues that demand urgent attention and effective solutions. As more and more young people are born and reach adulthood, the government finds itself in a constant race to provide adequate education, accessible healthcare, and meaningful employment opportunities for millions of its youth. This surge in numbers raises a critical question. Can the country, with its finite resources and limited budget, manage to meet these demands while simultaneously laying the groundwork for sustainable, long-term prosperity? The path forward is fraught with difficulties, yet it also offers hope. Watching how the nation navigates these obstacles may reveal whether it can transform its demographic growth into a powerful engine for development. Perhaps, ultimately, it will be the energetic and innovative youth of Uzbekistan who hold the key to unlocking a future marked by strength and resilience. Turning our attention to the cultural treasures that embody the nation's soul, one finds that Uzbekistan's traditional music stands out as a shining example of the country's rich heritage. This musical tradition is so distinctive and profound that it has earned a place on the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. Imagine a sound so deep, resonant, and emotionally stirring that it seems to encapsulate the very essence of an entire nation's spirit, its history, hopes, and dreams. Now, consider that this unique musical expression is so precious and rare that the global community has deemed it necessary to preserve it for future generations by officially recognizing it as part of the shared cultural heritage of humanity. The traditional music of Uzbekistan is far more than just melodies played with instruments. It is a living, breathing link that connects the country's ancient past with its vibrant present, serving as a vital thread in the fabric of its national identity. In the year 2011, this treasured musical tradition was formally inscribed on the UNESCO list, a recognition that carried significant meaning. It was not merely a bureaucratic formality or symbolic gesture. Rather, it signified a conscious effort to safeguard a living tradition that has profoundly influenced generations of Uzbek people. The music, characterized by intricate rhythms and melodies, reflects centuries of cultural exchange, incorporating influences from Persia, Turkic peoples, and the broader Central Asian region. Instruments such as the dutar, tanbur, and gijak continue to resonate on stages across the country and beyond, conveying the spirit, history, and resilience of Uzbekistan to audiences worldwide. In our rapidly changing world, where modern life often seems to drown out traditional sounds, this music serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of cultural preservation. It underscores how vital it is to maintain and celebrate the unique artistic expressions that define a nation's identity. Whether played at joyous weddings, during national holidays, or in everyday life, these melodies continue to fill the air of Uzbekistan, woven into the very fabric of its cultural heritage. They serve as a living testament to the enduring power of tradition amid the march of progress. To offer a broader perspective on this fascinating country, here are 15 astonishing facts about Uzbekistan that may surprise you. From ancient archaeological discoveries to bold and progressive reforms, this land is truly full of surprises and hidden treasures. I hope you found today's exploration engaging and insightful. If so, please don't forget to support us by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel, ensuring you won't miss any of our upcoming, exciting content. Your encouragement and support enable us to continue sharing stories about fascinating places around the world. Be sure to check out the next video that appears on your screen. I am confident you will find it equally captivating. And, if you have a particular country in mind that you'd like us to explore next, please leave your suggestions in the comments. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.